Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here. I'm returning to you surprisingly again for a ranking, well, worst to best ranking album list and all that. And this is for the Five Finger Death Punch worst to best albums on the ranking list. So, on my ranking list, of course. So, I'm going to start with from 8 to 1, what I thought what the worst albums was all the way to the best, and let you know my thoughts on what I thought of each album. So let's start with number 8, which is Got Your Six. God, this was horrible. uh when I first heard it, I was like, title track is bad, Boots and Blood was horrible. There were a lot of fucked up songs. Jekyll and Hyde I fucking hated. The chorus got so annoying. There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders, da da da, or whatever. And it's the only song I probably started to like a little more was I Apologize from that album, from the deluxe edition. And everything else was just bad. It was just flat out bad. So Got Your Six was a horrible record, and it made it at the worst album on my ranking list. And I gave it like a 3 out of 10, I think. I'm not sure if what I rated it. You'd have to go check out my review for it, but yeah, they're one of the most cringiest bands now, to be honest. And this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. It's just how I feel when I listen to their music now. But at number 8, we had Got Your Six by Five Finger Death Punch for the worst album. Number 7, we have F8, also known as Fate. And this was one of the newer ones that came out this year, and it is in my worst albums of 2020, unfortunately. I did not like this album. This is War. Ivan Moody's scream in it is just terrible. And he sounds like a fucking child complaining when he's screaming. And in the song Bottom of the Top, he does the same thing too, whining and screaming. And I'm like, come on, this is what a fucking kid does. And when he does the clean vocals, I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. But no, I don't like it when Ivan Moody screams. It sounds like he's throwing a temper tantrum about something. And I'm like, ugh. Like, this is just awful. But it's one of the worst albums. I think the latest albums they released were bad. From Got Your Six to F8. And yeah, number 7 was F8. There were some redeemable songs that I could say brought the rating of the album up a little bit, but a little bit off is not a bad one. But the beat is just a little clustered, kind of a clusterfuck beat. But it's alright. And Living the Dream was had some cringy lyrics. The Captain America, are you off to fight the bad guys? And I'm like, this is just terrible lyricism. The first verse was terrible until you get into the pre-chorus and the chorus, and it does a little bit better. But number 7, we had F8, like I said. Number 6, we have Injustice for None. Now, this one was bad, but it was mostly lying in the disappointing area of bad. And I just felt that not a lot of the songs were as enjoyable as I thought. Sorry if you hear that dog barking. Yeah, I think my next door neighbor just got home or whatever. But yeah, this album, Injustice for None, was not as impressive, but still, Blue on Black, it was one of the most heinous songs I've heard. It is a cover track for a 1999 song that happened years ago, like over 20 years ago. And Fire in the Hole was not a bad one, but not great. I Refuse, I actually did like that one a little bit. There were some others that I did like, but for what it was, I think Champagne was one of the worst songs, and some other ones too. I just can't remember what. But I remember reviewing this album a few years ago, and I kind of bitched and complained about what I really thought of the album, and I was kind of right to bitch and complain about it because it was a terrible record, and it still is to this day. So I think their newest records, I think I only liked 5 of their albums out of 8, and that I could really respect and appreciate. But at number 6, we have Injustice for None. Sorry that I talked so much through this video about these 3 albums. I just fucking hate them. I do not like their newest stuff. Five Finger Death Punch definitely sold out to this bro metal sound that they go for. Wrong Side of Heaven and the Righteous Side of Hell Volume 2 is number 5, and it's not a bad one. Battleborn I actually did like. Weight Beneath My Sin, I think, is one of the songs, and Cold is a good one. I really like that one. I'm not sure if it's on volume 1 or volume 2. I just can't remember. But still, at number 5, we had Wrong Side of Heaven and the Righteous Side of Hell. And it had a pretty good closing track to the album. I think it was House of the Rising Sun. And yeah, it was not a bad way to close the album. So yeah, the volume 2 for Wrong Side of Heaven and Righteous Side of Hell was not a bad one. I actually liked it for what it was. And that was the last album I liked of Five Finger Death Punch. After that, they just fucked up. But number 4 is Wrong Side of Heaven and the Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 1. And this one was pretty good. I liked the You song. That one was my favorite. And a few others as well. I think Cold is on this album. I don't know. I do like that song. It was really good. The one song I can say on Injustice for None that I forgot to mention that I really loved was Gone Away, the Offspring cover. And I know it sounds mellow, and most people are saying, it's not their best cover that they did, but that one I actually did appreciate. I could really feel for Ivan Moody on that song. I really can commend him on that one, because that one was not too bad. It was actually pretty good. But at number 4, we had Wrong Side of Heaven and the Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 1. Sorry that I went into topic about something different. I've heard all their discography, and their newest stuff is crap, to be honest. Some songs they have hits. Majority of their new stuff is pretty much bad. But number 3 is The Way of the Fist, and it is the 2007 album, and I really like The Bleeding. That was when they were really good. That's when you could call them heavy metal. And metal, of course, because that's when they were really good. And yeah, uh, there was a few other songs I liked off it. I just have to go back and listen to it again. But I remember reviewing this album a few years ago, and definitely go check out my review for it if you haven't seen it. I know when I was reviewing in 2018, I kind of wasn't doing that great. I was going through a lot that year, but I'm doing a lot better now. I was going through a lot of mental health problems that year, and yeah, I came out of the other side as a fighter, but still, at number 3 we had The Way of the Fist, the Five Finger Death Punch album. At number 2 we have American Capitalist. This one was pretty good. I really liked it. The Pride was really good. There's a few other songs. Remember Everything I really loved. Coming Down was a great song off the album. And uh there's other ones that I remember listening to, but I can't remember. Coming Down I really liked. That's when they started talking about, I think the saddest song has got to be Remember Everything. If you watch the video, it's so fucking sad. Just shows this kid's parents and all that, and he felt neglected as a kid, and then he grows up with the same cycle, neglecting his kid too, and it's just really sad. I'm just like, holy shit, this is just a sad music video. But still, uh, yeah, I really liked American Capitalist. It's one of my favorite Five Finger Death Punch albums. And yeah, that was my number 2, American Capitalist. And finally at number 1, drum roll please. War is the Answer. That was the one you probably were expecting for number 1. I liked Hard to See. That was one of my favorites off the album. There were some other ones, but it's been a while since I've heard this album. But I've heard their newer stuff, and when I hear their newer stuff, I just cringe, and I'm like, ugh, this is just awful. Because they really went radio metal kind of friendly stuff, and they just bitch and complain in their songs. Well, Ivan Moody bitches and complains in most of the newer stuff, and I'm just like, terrible lyricism, cringy melodies too, and not even great lyric. Well, I not even great screams from Ivan Moody. It just sounds annoying as fuck. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. But at the end of the day, Five Finger Death Punch is a piece of shit, to be honest. That's my opinion. I don't like them. They're just bro metal to me, and they fucking suck. But that's just how I think of the band. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of my ranking system for worst to best albums of Five Finger Death Punch. And if you like this ranking system, because I know someone wanted me to do this ranking system, and I'm answering his request now. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I will be returning to you tomorrow for the honorable song mentions of 2020 video and many other videos throughout the week. But I gotta end this video here because it only lets me go up to 15 minutes. But thank you for watching this very long video for my ranking system of Five Finger Death Punch. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in my next video.